going on, everybody? Back again with another video, another day out here in Jakarta, Indonesia. And this time I'm gonna go to Subirdam Central Business District, explore around there and head to another area not too far. And probably explore some of the regular streets to see what's going on over here. Show you like the modern side of Jakarta, you know, and then explore like other sides of this huge, massive metropolis. So I'm gonna head towards the MRT, take the train there. I think it's like 4 stops, if I'm not mistaken. And then once we get above the ground level, we're gonna explore around to see what's happening. So without further ado, join me. Since it's Saturday, it's probably a quieter day out here. You know, not much activity happening. I already came and had a little bit of a lunch earlier. Very good food and affordable. I pay only like $6 for a 2 meal. But yeah, I think within a block ahead should be the MRT line. I got the card here, so I'm gonna check how much money I have in that thing, and then if I need to reload it, I'll do it and just tap in and take the train. Train here is pretty fast and efficient. Gotta tell you, once you make it in underground, the MRT station, they got a very cool air condition. One step down, once I make it even deeper, very nice, you know, compared to other places where it's steaming hot. Here is a very cool air conditioner, so I guess it gets very hot here during summer season and humid, so this is very good to come down to a nice air con. Here I am in the MRT, I'm whispering, but you can see what's out here. Clean. First stop on Data High, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more stops to go, and that should be where I gotta go, and then I'm gonna explore outside, so I'll catch you guys over there. So, like 10 minutes in, I'm at my stop. Let's see if I don't get lost outside. Gotta tell you, the people who work in the MRT stations are very, very helpful in helping you buy a ticket. Even the communication, you know, we have problems, but they're really willing to help. That's really good. I'm about to exit to the street level. Let's see if I don't get lost, but I think I literally, good timing, I exit up in the right spot. Like over here, see? This is one of the major Central Business District area over here. Oh wow, the sun is hitting hardcore over here. You can see the high-rise buildings. Some of these buildings, I think they're the Ritz-Carlton. So let's start exploring around. Very hot now, but I guess it's better than raining hardcore like yesterday. But yeah, and there's a local park over here. So yeah, I think in the block ahead of me is where I can do a little detour and start strolling around this business district over here. All this over here is called Indonesia Stock Exchange. So I think this is like the major importing point of Jakarta. Right here, see, it says it clearly. Also, another short abbreviation that they call this district is SCBD, like Sudirman Central Business District. Most of the times when you explore or you Google like the major Central Business District in Jakarta, this is the area that pops up, and I see the famous Ritz-Carlton right there ahead of me. There's also like an overpass on the other side, but I think over here is where it's gonna get pretty nice. Here it is, that's Ritz-Carlton. I think they have 2 Ritz-Carltons, which we're gonna make it to the other one later. But now I'm gonna walk around here and explore. I also see like a mosque over there, so pretty interesting. The sidewalks are definitely well paved over here. I figure this is Saturday, you're not really gonna expect to see much people, unless you come on a weekday, but look, this is very beautiful out here. The streets, the sidewalk, no litter, like super, super clean. And right next to the Ritz-Carlton, they have a mall called Pacific Place, so it'll be a good opportunity for me to shelter inside and get some AC and then continue my exploration, but I'm literally surrounded by a couple of skyscrapers out here. The crazy thing about this is when I was growing up back home, I used to Google a lot about Jakarta, many other Asian cities, and usually this area over here would pop up, and for me to be right here, you know, it's an honor for me. So I think I'm just gonna stroll around and show you a little bit of this district. I don't think it's that too big, you know, it's that big. Then I'll probably go inside the mall, and then I'm gonna try to explore other districts out here and try to make it to some of the local neighborhoods. But so far it's looking pretty good. And you can see how nice it is. They got Citibank right there ahead too. And lots of glass looking skyscrapers. They also got WeWork. They got WeWork in New York City too, with just like a co-working space. And then this over here, all this futuristic. I'm not gonna lie, this area is kind of bringing me a little vibe of Makati, which is a financial district in Metro Manila in the Philippines for those who are new to the channel. And I've explored it many times, so it's kind of bringing me a little bit of that vibe over here. You know, of course, Indonesian version. Every city out here has their own unique version of doing things and developments, but yeah, Pretty nice looking district out here. This is, I think it's the mall, like West Lobby, and then they got the Ritz-Carlton over here. I think I'm gonna go inside and see what's going on, take a little peek. Made it inside the mall that's right by Ritz-Carlton. Let's see how nice it is. Holy moly, look at this, yo. This is big. How many floors this mall got? This is massive, man. So I literally counted it. A solid 8 floors. Not sure if it's like the whole entire mall, but Jesus, the malls of Jakarta doesn't stop to impress me. I was talking about how big the malls were yesterday when I entered Grand Indonesia and Plaza Indonesia, but then this one, this one's like in another level and beautiful. So this seems to be a high-end mall. I'm just in shock with how massive it is. But it mostly has like high-end stores, just like you'll find in any other mall. So just crazy, yo. See over here. This kind of gives me a little bit of the Hudson Yards too in New York. So it doesn't seem like it's extensive, just like this main atrium over here, but 8 floors, you know, that's a lot. And it's surrounded by skyscrapers, so it's like a different type of vibe. So yeah, I'm just in shock with looking at this, the escalators and stuff. Imagine you gotta go all the way up. And they still have a little bit of Christmas decorations here in Jakarta, so that's pretty cool. Looks like a ship too, like a cruise ship. Outside the streets, I think over here you can admire the Central Business District with the glassy buildings. Now I just got to cross the street. The good thing, they have a guard here that helps you out. So Indonesians, man, some of the nicest people and very helpful, you know, friendly, they smile at you. It's amazing. But yes, I got distracted with this mall, but let's continue the exploration. There's gonna be like a couple of 4 malls throughout my exploration for this day, you know, and then probably later I'll hit up a market or something to see what's going on. But yeah, if you missed my first video of Jakarta, feel free to check it out. Had a good impression about this city, and I'm loving it so far. I'm so happy that I made it over here. But let's see what else is happening in the Central Business District. Like I said, Jakarta's literally filled up with them, and they're all like spread out, so you just gotta know where to go. And look at this futuristic sign and the skyscrapers out there. Looking pretty nice. I wanted to have like a local park over here. Only one way to find out, by exploring it. I'm gonna study the Google Maps too and see what else can I do out here. See, this is a building Discovery. Not sure if it's a hotel or a call center, but this is how they call this district, SCBD, short terms. And that's the mall that I was walking right there. So you see the area from another angle. Then I think over here is like a local park, but I'm gonna focus on walking where the skyscrapers are to see what's happening. And so far, you know, I'm very impressed with this area and how nice and clean they got the streets out here. I think it's pretty dope. And then, like I say, over here they drive the opposite way than back home in the States. So over here it's looking pretty good. Let me show you what's the scene right in front of me. So this is it right here. But like I say, not too much movement because it's the weekend, it's Saturday. But I'm pretty sure if I come in a weekday, like maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then maybe it'll be much more busier. And then here you see more of the skyscrapers that you can find in Jakarta. But it's pretty much a well-planned city, because it's not only a massive central business district with a skyscraper, but I like how they incorporate like trees all together. And I feel like newer cities, they should literally build it like this, you know, because if you don't build like trees and stuff, then you're gonna be dying in brutal heat, especially in tropical countries like this that get very hot. You see it keeps going. The beautiful glass skyscrapers. Like I say, most of the new buildings they got here is made out of glass. Here I am in the heart of it. They got more over that way, I tell you. I don't know which way to go, so I'm probably just gonna go this way, then figure my way, and I wanna make it into some of the regular streets. Humidity is starting to kick in. This tropical country. But this is apparently the rainy season, so I'm lucky that today is not raining, so I'd rather deal with this heat than the rainy. And then over there is the building that I'm talking about, Citibank. We got those back in the States too, so it's pretty good to see it right here. Driving around here could be a little confusing because they got this circle right here. But like I said, I think they might have a local park on the other side. I want to cross over this way to see what can I encounter. Over here's looking good too, but I think there's more action over this way. Wow, over here's looking good. I like what they do to maintain the palm trees straight. Seems like they just planted. Not sure what type of building this is right here. So it's probably like an office building or anything, and then they got the fountain. And then you see nice and clean streets, and then the other side. Like I said, Jakarta is much more than this. I'm just focusing on this main touristy developed districts. But then, you know, after maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna start exploring like the older part of Jakarta, the regular streets. Because they got many of those, they got a lot of tiny streets, but that's where you experience the real Jakarta and a lot of action over there, like a lot of people hanging out and everything. So, and I heard in the nighttime it's pretty eclectic, and you'll find street food. I'm very impressed with the food. The food is good out here. Pretty good, you know, and very affordable, and they use like a lot of herbs. So this over here in the center is the local park. I'll tell you, man, like it reminds me of Makati, because in Makati they also have a park that's called Ayala Triangle, and then ahead here I see SCBD has its own park too, so I'm gonna walk around and check it out. Then behind me you see the buildings happening ahead of me, and then I see the lights here. It seems like it's kind of like a mixture of a smart city. Maybe they might have some nightlife, because I'm seeing in the video, like people gathering and hanging out here. I hear they got some music, and like, I guess also not only is an area for you to work, but recreate too, you know, and hang out during your free time. I'm gonna try to make it over that way. Right now it seems pretty quiet, but I think in the nighttime this comes out to life. Like I see a couple of markets and chairs over here for people to sit down and enjoy their food. So yeah, it seems like it gets pretty popping at nighttime. You see, like I say, it's not much crowd, but I think Jakarta's mostly like an afternoon night city. And all the restaurants and everything, they got street food, and you can sit out here and eat and everything. So looking pretty dope, but then you got a performer there. But like I say, it's pretty quiet right now. I might have to come back in the nighttime, check it out later. But now my mission is to exit this district and walk around some regular neighborhoods that they got over here. Gonna track again my Google Maps. They got a couple of regular neighborhoods with, I think, nice streets and nice restaurants, and then I'm gonna try to make it towards another area that's developed where they have another Ritz-Carlton too. So I think it's gonna be probably a long walk for me, but I am down for it. Luckily it's not brutally hot, and I love exploring and walking, and I gotta get the calories done, because even though I'm still slim, one thing is I'm 39 years old, almost 40, and little by little my belly is starting to grow. So if I don't maintain that, I'm gonna be like an air balloon before you know it. But let's get the walking going. See how nice this is over here. And the trees, see how they maintain it to keep it straight. So it seems like they literally just plant these trees over here. So pretty nice, you know, central business district. So I gotta go the other side in order to walk towards that way. One thing I'm loving also is hearing the prayers of the mosque, because I did mention it yesterday, but the country that has the most Muslims in the world is Indonesia, with about roughly 242 million. So that's about maybe like 87% of the country's population. So when you go everywhere, you're gonna be hearing the prayers. And that's something very nice that I like. You know, it's very peaceful. And also, like I said, the people are respectful over here no matter what. As long as you respect the locals and the culture, and that applies to no matter what country you go, you're just gonna get the same love back. So I've seen some more skyscrapers on the other side, and I think that's the other way that I gotta go. So I know it's gonna be a little bit of a long walk, but I wanna explore locally too, like check out some of the areas. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the skyscrapers over that side. Like I say, the buildings are literally like not in order like in New York or some other cities like in the States, but they're like literally like spread out, you know, all over. So you just gotta study the map and know where you're trying to go. Look at this sidewalk, how beautiful it is. I wonder what this is, like a restaurant or like a mister. I'm loving how they set up like these, I think it's like bamboos that hold up the trees. Seems like they developed this area, they put the trees, and then in order to keep it standing, they set this up. See, this is pretty solid. But I like it, man. This is dope. And then look at this tree. You can tell it's very old. So it's pretty nice what they do to preserve the trees with the city combined together. So it's not just literally like a concrete jungle. It's starting to become what I want to see of Jakarta, like regular streets. It's starting to become a little bit more local. Once I exit the central business district, it's just like tiny streets like this with food stalls. And like I say, a lot of Jakarta's like that, not just the high-rise buildings. Once you exit, you see like regular neighborhoods like this. Beautiful, like I said, they maintain the trees and it gives it literally like a nice vibe. So let me just show you a little bit of the street scenes ahead of me. Over here you see mostly motorbikes, but looking dope, a nice residential neighborhood. And then in this area you can find some nice restaurants where the locals eat. So it's very cool. Right here, look at this, see? I think there's another restaurant out here where they sell like some noodles and stuff. The thing is, every street is very cool, so it's just hard for you to pick which street do you want to go. But this is literally what I was trying to explain. Like, it's a city, huge contrast, even though this neighborhood is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna walk here and make it to the other street, JL Gunawarman. Not sure if I'm saying it correct, but I'm gonna probably walk around to see what else is happening. It's gonna be a long ass walk. I forgot my watch. Gonna walk around there to see what's going on, and then I'm gonna make it back to the other central business district. You see is the motorbikes, and then right next to the gigantic skyscrapers out here. And over here they got a lot of local restaurants. That's dope. And the chairs, I think in the nighttime it's popping out here. Okay, that food looks good. Super, super local out here, I like it. So I wanted to go towards that way, but it doesn't seem like it's walkable until I make it to another side, but that's okay. I'm just gonna walk this area and show you what are the vibes. Heavy traffic jam over here. So it kind of looks like a mixture of local area, but there is cool things to see out here, you know. Well-paved sidewalks, a lot of coffee shops, restaurants out here, even barber shop. So let me just show you the street scene. This is what you get out here, see? Despite it being outside the central business district, you can see how nice and well-paved the sidewalk is. Chocolate, what is it here? Chocolate? Also, it's like a chocolate store. Then they got a barber shop right here. And even over here, they got some cool stuff to look at. And what I like about here is that you don't really see the spaghetti wires, so keeps it like a nice view. What is this? The grains of glory. Wow, this is pretty interesting, this area. Loving it out here. I think if I come here in the nighttime, it must be packed with action because all the restaurants even got securities out there or valet parking, people working. And there's like a heavy traffic jam ahead of me, so probably gonna make it towards that way and see what's going on, and then I'll just turn back and keep exploring the modern area. I'm gonna go in my Google Maps to see where I'm at. Right now it says 31 Celsius, so that's literally like in the 90s, but it say the air quality is pretty good, so there's not really much smog, but look at the scenes of a local street in Jakarta. And the street over here takes me straight back to SCBD, so I might go back here to make it towards the other side, because I think that's probably like the fastest route, but I want to see ahead of me, there's a nasty traffic jam. And look at the sidewalks and streets, how nice and well paved they are. And then here comes the traffic jam, so it would suck to take a Grab car right now, or a Gojek, a rideshare app, and be stuck in traffic. Probably the best route to do is for me to walk, like I'm doing now. But I love this point is I'm not gonna do the whole stretch, but I'm gonna walk some of these areas over here to see what's going on. And then I'm gonna turn back and try to shortcut in the other side, so. And so far, I haven't noticed anything else, but I'm the only foreigner walking out in this street outside of the SCBD. But I love it like that, you know. Oh, there's a Thai restaurant right here. So it seems like they got a little bit of different varieties of food around this area. I think they're a little bit on the high-end side, but probably affordable, but like fancy-looking restaurants, because the fact that they have a valet parking and people that dress nice, you know, it must be actually really cool. So, but I'm gonna keep walking a little bit ahead to see what else is going on. And here there's more, they're developing a house out here. Look at this house, the gray, well, it's not a house, I think it's like a restaurant or something, but the architecture is pretty nice. Even here, all these houses, they're all next to each other, but, or restaurants, but they're beautiful. And then over here, this one's called, we got this in New York, Tous les Jours, which is like a French pastry shop, I think. So you can park a motorbike out here and then go in the restaurant. So this is like a different vibe outside of the central business district. But I think I like this area better. This is where the action happens and where the people hang out. So I think in the nighttime, it must be nice with all the lights lit up. And the crazy thing is that I haven't even seen nothing of Jakarta. It's just so massive, but like they say, when you travel somewhere, you can't really see at all. You know, you just gotta plan. I guess I gotta keep coming back here and try to explore everything I've said right here. So, but let me see what else is happening ahead of me. Damn it, they even got a Taco Bell here. This is funny. Look, Taco Bell, that's probably the most modern Taco Bell I've ever seen. And this is like a coffee joint right here. And then they got some more nice looking restaurants that literally look like semi-houses or mansions, but I'm noticing a lot of Korean barbecue joints out here. And look at this tree, how beautiful it is, wow. And the fact how they maintain it and keep the sidewalk. And if you keep going ahead, it's mostly like a lot of nice trees. So a little 360 view of what's happening out here. I'm sure most of this area looks similar, so I'm just gonna walk back to Sudirman Central Business District and try to make it towards the other side where there's a Ritz-Carlton and a couple of other malls to see what's happening there. And I'm gonna call it the end just for now and try to figure where I'm gonna go next and film later. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Look at this man over here, he's strong. Pulling this, wow. Just proves you how hard people work abroad. You know, look at him pulling that stuff just to make a living. But you know, at some point it's also good to see that, you know, like you see the action and how a lot of people live out in many other countries abroad. Look at this nice local park, beautiful, the trees and everything. Well, it's tiny though, but pretty nice how they maintain it. You really don't see, you know, homeless. It doesn't smell bad like it would smell back in the States, you know. Like in the States, they like to paint countries like Indonesia and other countries like it's bad, and they try to show like an angle where it looks horrible. But look at me, I'm walking inside Jakarta, and of course, like any other place, there's good and bad areas. There's areas that are run down, but it's awesome out here, and I haven't seen anything crazy. You know, I feel super safe here, way safer than I feel back home in the States. You know, of course, you just got to use common sense because anything can literally happen anywhere. So now I think this is probably the hardest part, walking far. I'm gonna make it to another area. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Melayu Tanah Abang, which is a road, and over there should be other high-rise, modern skyscrapers and nice malls to explore around. So this is back the Sudirman Central Business District. You can see right here, skyscrapers. So I'm gonna walk over here and catch you guys when I make it towards the other side. This is the other side, and I can see the other Central Business District from right here, tall high-rise buildings. I think there should be a mall over here, so, you know, everything looks like it's nearby, but it's pretty spread out, so it's good if you have a scooter or just take a Grab to get from one side to another one. But at least I can enjoy the scene of what's happening over here, like all the high-rise buildings and skyscrapers. So yeah, I'm loving this area so far. Like in many other places that I go, the only guy walking around this highway, trying to make it to the other side. There should be an overpassage that connects me to the other business district where the high-rise building is, but you see a nice view ahead of me. And even out here, they do a good job to maintain the roads well paved. Like over here, see this? I think this is like an important building. I'm trying to see if I can see the sign over there. And then this is the other area where they got the high-rise buildings that I want to go. Okay, this is called Wisma Danantara, Indonesia. I'm not sure what type of building this is, but it might be like a federal building, this one and the other one. But it looks actually pretty nice, you know. What I'm doing is crazy because I don't see no locals, anybody out here doing this. Me always studying the Google Maps and walking it around. Getting a little bit paranoid. I wish I would have had a bike. I think one thing Jakarta could really benefit is putting like bike rentals, so people can just rent it and bike around. I think that would be a good spot. I notice a lot in other cities, and I've been noticing so far the areas I've been exploring in Jakarta, they're pretty, not only walkable, but they're pretty bikeable. So if they implement that, I think that would be really a hit. But maybe in the future, because they're developing a lot the city, especially with the public transportation. But I think that's actually like a really good idea. This is cool because they have a bus station right here, and they have a designated lane just for buses that would take you, you know, around this highway. That's cool. That's a cool concept, because that way you can hop in the bus and not worry about traffic jam, because you literally just have a lane designed only for the bus. And those are electric buses. Right there, see, there goes one of the buses. So pretty cool. And then the financial district. So this side over here that I'm walking is busier. See how nice it is. And I'm not gonna lie, this skyscraper that I see here to my right, it reminds me a little bit of the Freedom Tower in Manhattan, New York. Not sure, like, it's not the same, but the design is a little bit similar. So I'm just gonna show you guys. Now here, look at the building. I don't know if you guys can notice a little bit of the similarities, not only the color, but the way how they design it, it kind of gives you that vibe of the Freedom Tower. So this area is really cool. Right next to me on the right is a huge mosque. And I gotta walk a local neighborhood, but the area that I'm gonna go has not only another Ritz-Carlton, they have a JW Marriott, which is, you know, like pretty high end of all the Marriotts out here. So let's check it out. This is what you get right here. You can see the district right behind me. And then you got a local, what about you got a local neighborhood like this. So very cool. I like this, you know. Let me see what this little tiny street looks like. Oh, it's nice. You can shortcut here to the other side. And they got many sidewalks too. So yeah, I'm just randomly walking around this area, but according to what I saw in Google Maps, this kind of directs me more straight to the area that I want to go. Then after I'm done, I'm most likely gonna end up taking the LRT. I wait to the MRT, but I've never taken the LRT, so I'm probably gonna do that, and then transfer to the MRT and head back to my accommodation, because I feel like I already walk a lot. And you know, the humidity starts kicking in after you be walking for a very long time. And this tiny street will take me straight into this other district out here that has high-rise buildings and malls. I gotta tell you, it's so random how it's like in the middle of this area, but that's the beauty about exploring all the cities. Here you can see a nice local, you know, a nice local residential area, and then you got the high-rise buildings over here. So a lot of the buildings are like glass buildings. And I think they have a couple of multi-level malls underground, but the street goes like around in circles, so I'm gonna walk around and see, you know, what are the vibes about. And look at this, no sidewalk, but they have little alleyways that connect over here. Kind of reminds me of a barangay, but I think it's pretty common in Asia to have streets like this. Then here you can start seeing I'm entering the other central business district, but there's not really much going on the ground. I'm literally just surrounded like by super tall skyscraper, but it's not really like much restaurants or business. I know there's probably a couple of malls once I exit this area. But yeah, a little bit of what's happening here. I see the Indonesian flag, and I'm not sure what that flag is, but pretty cool to see, you know, like the contrast in many neighborhoods out here in Jakarta. Like, look at these condos, and then they got these glass buildings over here. And it's like a nicer, I mean, I see all these barricades. Maybe they're gonna develop something or make the neighborhood more popular. But then look at this building over here. Nice and tall, kind of looks like the building in San Francisco. I forgot the name of it, but I think it's one of the tallest buildings that they built in San Francisco. It even looks like the tall building in this Change Place in Jersey City, but this one is actually taller. So it's crazy that even far away, I see a lot of things that reminds me of home. I guess New Jersey and New York never leaves no matter what country I go. This is what you get, the street goes around. And then there should be an exit, and that would take me to another district where they got a highway, the LRT, and a couple of malls across the street. So here, this is what you get around this area. So like I mentioned in my previous video, I think a better justice to Jakarta would be having a drone and flying it up there. Up in the sky, you will see how extensive the city is. It's just random how they got empty lots over here, but then you got some high-rise buildings happening that you would think there would be more action, but still pretty interesting. So I gotta go ahead, and I wanna pass by the JR Marriott. This building has a nice architecture underground, and then a high-rise building. I think this is the other Ritz-Carlton that I got here in Jakarta. And then if you go in the other side, there's actually more high-rise buildings that way. So like I said, it's pretty expansive, the city, and that's a good idea that they build a good train system. Yeah, this is the Ritz-Carlton Kuningan, I think. And over that way, it's a JW, I believe. But I'm gonna go over this way and exit this district to see what else can I find out here. Yeah, this is the other busy highway that I wanted to explore. And over here should be like a nicer view. But I want to go over that way, because there's a mall called Raffles or Ciputra. And I think it's really good. And then every time I Google like malls in Jakarta, that was one of the malls that pop up. So I want to go over that way. I think it's big and multi-level. And I'm pretty sure in the inside is big too. Then over here, you got some high-rise buildings. And the same in the first couple of levels is a mall. I think this one's Lotte. So they got a couple of malls. LRT should be over that way. But now I'm gonna walk over this side. This over here is kind of reminding me a little bit of Bangkok, Thailand. like the bridge over here, but I think this is like a highway, not a SkyTrain. And then the sidewalks where people can walk. So, you know, but now let's make it towards the other mall to cool off, because it's super hot and humid. Like I've been walking a good amount of time, so I'm gonna go and cool myself up in the mall for a bit. Then I'm gonna walk towards the other side to see what's going on. Then over here, they got a little plaza that connects you to the other side, right next to the other mall. So I'm just gonna shortcut over here to see what's going on. I think they might have some coffee shops and restaurants out here. So let's check it out. And here, wow, this is cool. It's like a nice outdoor shopping center. So they got coffee shops, restaurants. I guess this is where the people hang out. And it goes on the other side, so that's good to know. And here you got some massive condos. And then the Sepultura Mall should be right here. Neon lights, I think in the nighttime, it's pretty lit here. What I'm trying to figure, I want to go that way later. How can I cross towards that way? Is there like a highway or overpassage or something? I'll figure it out, but now I'm just gonna head in the mall to cool off a little bit, check it out, see how big it is, and then I'll walk to the other side to see what else is happening. So here where it's gonna get pretty interesting. So we got some condos right here. I guess it got Airbnbs that you can rent out over here. And then the massive mega mall is right ahead of me. It's called Raffles. I think Raffles is where the condominiums are, and then the mall should be ahead of me. And I think in the nighttime they lit up with lights. But I'm gonna show you how big it looks like from the outside. So here, see, this is it. And it goes all the way in the other side. Sepultura World. I've always seen it in social media. So now I wanna go in the inside and check it out. You know, I'm a huge fan of huge Asian malls. And the thing is, I live in New Jersey, and New Jersey has American Dream Mall, which is the second largest mall in the United States. But that mall got nothing in the malls out here in Asia, like Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. Like the malls over here, they're literally like in another level. And they're not just malls over here, there's like a city indoors where you can just hang out, you know, and spend time with your family. Now I have just got inside Sepultura World. Yo, security guards are so nice and friendly out here, but let me see what's happening in front of me. It looks pretty big. This is a little portion of the mall here. It looks like a spaceship. I wonder if they got more on the other side. I think it literally goes like around. But it's like a nice design, like a nice futuristic mall. Look how nice the mall is, and they have a very good smell. Oh, here it looks even more interesting. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, like about 5 stories. Tell you, the malls in Jakarta are literally like a city indoors. And look how big it is. Now this is the second level, but like I said, it'll take you forever to explore every mall. So actually it looks way bigger in the outside than in the inside, you know. But you can see what's happening behind me. But pretty nice mall, but I think I came here because I gotta take a bathroom break too. So I'm gonna find where that is, and I'm gonna head towards the other side of the road and hit the other malls to see what they look like, and then I'm gonna hit the LRT train. That was very cool. Now I'm gonna hit the other side and probably a nicer view over here and see what it looks like. I see like some local spots over that way, but I gotta figure out how do I cross the street out here. I think you just gotta go for it. I'm gonna go where the pedestrian area is. So that way it's probably a little easier for me to cross. But yeah, there's no overpasses, no underpasses to make it to the other side, but I know it's gonna be pretty lit when we get to the other side where the auto mall is. This right here is gonna be a challenge, even though the pedestrian is. But I'm not sure the people are gonna be able to stop so I can cross in peace. So, success. I managed to cross on the other side. Luckily the cars were going slowly and I managed to just sneak by. But I think over here is gonna be a nicer view and probably like a grand finale over here. Before I head back to the accommodation, I think I already covered enough footage for now. You know, taking it easy, but there's so much to see here that the videos, they turn out to be a little bit longer than usual. Then this is the sidewalk over here. Here they got like a mall. I think it's one of those affordable malls. Maybe they got t-shirts. And then the other mall that I want to check out is over that way. This area gets a little busier because they got the mall ahead of me with the high-rise buildings. So it's like literally malls next to each other. And then you can see how tall and nice the building is. So the other mall I want to hit is over that way. Check it out. That's probably going to be it for today. But also I'm admiring how beautiful the sidewalk is. And you can see they got multiple options of ride share. This one I think is a Vietnamese company, but they have it in Manila, Philippines. And these are the regular taxis of Jakarta. And here you can see how nice the sidewalk is. I think that's the entrance to one angle of the mall, but I want to get like the front view of where I'm trying to go in. If you're driving the highway, you would get like a pretty nice view out here. Now let me take a little peek inside to see what it looks like, you know. Maybe it's not gonna be that big, but curiosity always, you know, hits me. So this mall is called Kuningan Mall, and it seems like they got more food options out here. Wow, dessert joints, even a fast food chain I see ahead of me. This is just the first level. Oh, I spotted a Watson's, so now I know where can I bring my fiance out here. I guess you just gotta know where to explore. They also got the Guardian there. I guess it's kind of like similar version of Watson's. But here, look at this. They got this, then they got the Wingstop, which is famous in the States, and then they got Burger King. I wonder what's in the menu out here. And this is the second floor of the mall. Pretty nice, you know, the angle from this way. So it's not really that big, but you know, it's pretty nice. The presentation of this mall, pretty elegant and classy. So no matter the mall is small, big, they really keep it classy out here in Jakarta. So I like it, and it really helps when the weather is bad outside, like humid or raining or anything. You could just literally shelter inside the mall. But I think I already seen enough for today. So now that I'm done here, I'm gonna try to take the LRT to the last stop with this Duku's Atas, and then I gotta transfer to the MRT. But I'm not gonna film the MRT because I already showcased you what it looks like. But I wanna check out what the LRT is. The LRT goes above ground, MRT underground. But I heard it's pretty nice and pretty modern. So I gotta go check it out and figure out how to ride it. So let's do it. So the name of the station I'll be taking it from is Rasuna Set. So it gets down the block if I make a left and then hop on the train in a couple of stops. So this you see up here is where the LRT goes. So if I walk a little bit forward, it's where the station should be. Even over here, we're surrounded by high-rise skyscrapers. But let's see. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there goes the LRT. My question, does that thing go that slow? Or maybe it's not that slow. Okay, it's going at a little bit more stable piece. That's what it looks like. It goes above ground. So this is one of the stations. So I got to go over there and I'll figure out how can I buy the tickets. One thing I like about, you know, stations, especially in the MRT, is that I can use my debit card without having, you know, to use cash. So far, a lot of places that I use over here, they take cash. And I heard apparently, especially in restaurants, so it's more like of a better hygiene if you use a card than cash. So it kind of makes sense though. Here we are going all the way up. Here I am in the LRT. There goes one over there. Got the card right here, so I'm gonna take this and then tap it in the MRT. Yo, the staff is very helpful. I've been confused and trying to reload some of the money out here, but the staff, man, they're on top of everything. Super helpful. I don't know how clear you can hear me, but this train is a little bit different than the MRT, but pretty smooth. You can see the city scenes behind me, and it goes above ground. The chair's pretty soft, so yeah, it's nice. As you can see, it was another pretty interesting day out in Jakarta. Nice malls, beautiful scenery in the back. But I think that's been it for today. I think I've seen enough for today. So I gotta start wrapping up the video, but I got more videos out in Jakarta coming out. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.